You get sunburn in your face?
No, this is from when I fell on the steps.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how bad is it? It's pretty bad, huh?
Wow.
I mean, it just happened.
It looks like a sunburn. It doesn't even look like a...
Oh, wow.
It looked like a shiner.
No, it just happened, dude.
That's from...
That was 4 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
Missed a step, edited a video.
Wow.
Done.
Trying to multitask, huh?
You know what's funny? You always pull me to the side. I'm always texting and walking, aren't I?
Yeah.
You always see me doing it.
Well,
You're a wise man.
Well, I mean, you always knew something like that's always in the cards. if you're walking around the city like this.
Yeah, definitely, dude. It happened so fast. Instead of saving my face.
Were you like bleeding or was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It looked bad. I mean, honestly, I thought it was going to look worse than it does
So
now.
you're walking down steps?
Yeah.
And you just miss a step?
Yeah, I was about 3 from the bottom, and I missed that one. Yeah, dude, it was a far fall.
You just fell straight forward?
Well, yeah, I kind of took it on this elbow. I kind of took it like this, but the bounce.
Wow.
You know, dude, I saved my phone. I'm holding my phone in this hand, and I didn't catch myself enough with this one. I caught that bounce, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, you're talking. I missed the third. There was still 3 more steps. I missed that one.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you're lucky you didn't go face plant with your nose. I mean,
or my teeth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's worse.
Well, actually, the bulk of the damage was right here. I had a concussion.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's still bumped up bad over here. You just can't see it. But this is where the real damage was.
You didn't have a concussion, right?
Oh, yeah, dude, I had a concussion. I mean, I couldn't go to all the ERs were closed.
Wow.
Yep.
But I mean, after that, you just went to sleep?
Yeah.
Hey, you're not supposed to do that with the.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I
That's
knew
how that got Bob Saget.
I had that concussion the next day. I knew I did because everything I did made no sense. Like, I got that key hook right behind you. So I always hang my keys on the key hook, right?
Yeah.
Tell me why I woke up, my keys were hanging on the light switch.
Wow.
I couldn't find them for an hour.
Wow.
I did so much dumb stuff, dude. I had that Celsius I told you about. I put it in the cupboard where I never put it. Like, I couldn't find my shoes. They were up here. That's how you know you got a concussion. You do stuff that don't make sense, and you can't remember none of it.
Doesn't it like you can't look at lights or something? People always have like sunglasses on when they...
Oh, no, it was
I
dark
know when boxers get to go to the hospital, they have to be in like a dark room.
Wow, that makes sense.
Because it's like your eyes are seeing
I could see light hurt in your eyes. I mean, I had my curtains drawn. It gets pretty dark in here.
Right, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
that could have bin curtains for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it happens. People hit their head, and that's how Bob Saget died.
Right.
Yeah, you hit your head, then you just you're in a hotel somewhere, so it's like, oh, am I going to go to a hospital? I'll sleep.
Hospitals are closed.
Sleep it off. And you get to the hospital, and they're like, oh, you just hit your head.
Right.
And then you leave, and they charge you $10,000.
All the urgent cares were completely closed. I didn't know they closed on Saturday.
Wow.
I thought that's the whole point of an urgent care. So, dude, you start looking up hospitals. I'm like, I had to catch a flight. It's like, what am I doing? I showed up on a cruise ship like this. Everybody. The worst thing is when you have a shiner or cut face, like this doesn't look bad. It actually looked a lot worse the day it happened. It was like scraped, it's like a rug burn or whatever.
Wow.
But cement burn. And, dude, everybody. What happened to your face? It's like, what do you think happened? Like, obviously something happened. Even if I...
Well, it looks worse. I mean, like, the story you're telling is more, like, lighthearted than... People think that you got, beat up in a bar or something.
Yeah, do you think I'm going to tell somebody that?
If it's a funny story. I mean, like, you see the other guy, if it was a fight.
Yeah, well, my knuckles aren't busted up. You can't really lie about getting in a fight.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta cut your knuckles.
Yeah, karate blow.
I chopped him in the neck.
Yeah.
I almost got into a fight in the airport. Dude, these airports are crazy. Me and my buddy, both comedians, we're talking about America's Got Talent and how certain people's lives change overnight. He's telling me about, how he knew comedians that did America's Got Talent, like when it was really a pop-in. Mm-hmm. I think even now it could probably really help somebody's career, but not as much as it could 10 years ago. So he knew one of these guys. I forgot who he was talking. I want to say he was talking about Tom Cotter. Was that one of the guys that blew up on there?
Oh yeah.
And he was saying like, man, he went like instantly selling out everywhere, like cards full. He's like, I was just hanging with the guy before that, and we're just struggling comedians. He does this. He goes, bro, overnight this dude's selling out everywhere.
Wow.
Fat money, checks. He's like, I seen the change, and I'm like, damn, like just into the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said something about getting offered gigs for like 25 grand, like in 1 hour just to go do a show from, being a guy that's doing clubs for like maybe one nighters for $500-600.
Yeah.
It's a big difference overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, damn, like, and then this guy comes over to me. He goes, what? You got something to say? I'm like, what? Dude, we're sitting at the airport. I go, excuse me? He goes, yeah, man, I heard you. You said, damn. And you looked over there. I was like, dude, we're talking about America's Got Talent. And, dude, we're in an airport in Honduras. Like, you're not trying to get arrested over here. He's some Texas dude. He's like, man, I know that because he told me. I'm some Texas dude.
Wow.
I was like, all right, dude, we're talking about America's Got Talent. He's like, all right, I heard you say something. You want to say something? Saying, come to find out, he thought I was talking about his girl, who's not. I look over. I'm like, bro. I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
Like we almost had this big altercation.
Yeah.
Foreign country. Over your insecurity of you thinking somebody's talking about your girl.
Wow.
And he was in my face like this. Dude, no security. He had his fist cocked. I'm like, dude, I'm smiling. I'm like, bro, we're talking about America's Got Talent. I couldn't let it go, though. You ever have an incident happen? Till today, I could laugh about it. I kept replaying the scenario in my head like, I handled it the best way. I smiled. Hey, we're talking about America's Got Talent. And then he just sat across from me and stared at me like, acting like he was going to do something. But I kept in my head being like, you ever replay it? I'm like, I should have said, yeah, are you going to punch me in the face? You're going to be a bitch.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, the fact that you're in an airport, that's got to be like, I mean, nothing could happen there.
Well, you never know what time.
No, I don't mean that, but it's like, that's the worst place to start actually.
For me.
For you.
I got something to lose.
Because it's like, yeah, both of you guys could end up on like a no-fly list or something, and then you're just stuck in Honduras. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always thought about that, about trying to, if I'm at a baseball game or something.
Right.
That would be the great, you just know that like it's this, however you're playing it out in your head, that's not exactly how it's going to go. The first part is going to happen like that.
Right.
But then there's a second part and a third part where it's like things are certainly going to go left. You're not going to walk away thinking, man, I'm glad I did that. Where it's like, man, that was the move right there. It's like, no. Best case, if you were the type of guy that was going to fight somebody, you would have fought.
Right.
You don't got it in you.
I don't.
Yeah. If you had it in you, you would know because you would be like,
I'd be arrested a bunch for fighting.
Well, you would have it's an automatic instinct. Anytime you see two guys who are talking like that and they're yelling at each other, it's like neither of these guys want to fight.
Right.
If either of these guys had it in them, it would have started immediately.
Right.
Where it's like, yeah.
Yeah, there is people that just don't give a shit. They're just throwing.
I mean, if you see fights start, sometimes it happens quick.
Yeah, it does.
When it really happens.
A real fight? I just seen one over here on 9th Ave.
Yeah,
Me and my brother caught it.
Immediate. Just like fists start flying. And even the guy who gets hit the first time, he doesn't even know what's going on at first.
Yeah.
And then the first 10 seconds of the fight are just establishing that we're fighting.
There's always a slip.
Yeah.
People always slip when they fight.
And then, that's the fight. In your head, you think this is going to be like a full-out brawl. But in reality, it's going to last like 15 seconds. And then you can be on the ground and then someone's girlfriend's going to be crying.
I always thought about this. There's all these different fighting gyms, MMA, there's boxing, there's Aikido, there's all these different styles of fighting. There's no street fighting class. That's all anybody wants anyway. Nobody wants to learn Aikido to fight in a tournament. They want to learn that shit for a bar fight. There needs to be a street fighting class.
Well, I mean, the thing with street fighting was that it devolves into wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why people always say jiu-jitsu is ultimately the most effective.
For a street fight?
It's not the most like flashy because you're not throwing roundhouse, you're not throwing big like looping punches and hooks, but it's like once you're actually close to close, as long as they don't knock you out with that first punch, it is turning into a wrestling match and you're on the ground.
And you got to flip them.
Well, you got to be able to do this like they're on top of you, then all of a sudden you're behind them.
You ever see in
their
those
arm
movies?
goes like this way and they're like,
But you know where they like do a little move and the bone breaks? I wonder if that's a real thing.
Well, there's that like your chicken wing thing where your arm goes back like this and your shit snaps. If the person knows what they're doing, it's like your shit is done once you get back here.
That's what you got to do to end a fight. You got to snap somebody's shit.
Yeah.
My Uncle Louie, he got in a lot of street fights back in the day. Old school Italian guy. This is what they did back then. They just would street fight.
Yeah.
And he would always tell me, he'd like, just give me your pinky and your thumb. He's like, that's all you need to do.
Well, the thing I think back in those days, those guys who like used to fight, they had like a sense of honor where it's like, no, I'm not wrestling I want to be the guy who's throwing punches.
Yeah.
Or throwing kicks. But it's like in a real street fight, you're at a bar or something. It's like there's no rules.
Yeah.
There's no like, I'm not going to kick the guy in the ball. It's like, no, anything's going to happen. And most likely it's just going to devolve into me with my arm around your, shoulders or something.
I always laugh at those hood street fights. The stance people.
This thing.
Yeah.
It's
like
all face, no body.
Yeah.
You're leaving your entire torso open.
Yeah, that's a hood street fight. You just gotta hit him in the stomach.
You're just sort of wiggling forward.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the idea is. Just like, no, I'm not gonna get hit in the face.
Right.
So
that's how you think.
What are the odds that someone's gonna really throw a body blow?
Yeah, that's true too. Everybody they're headhunters, but in the hood, you lost a fight if you got a mark. It's about who got the mark.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
you post. Yeah, his face ain't as pretty as mine.
Your kidneys, though. I mean, just like from a boxing standpoint.
Nobody knows about the liver punch.
Yeah, just changing levels. But yeah, I mean, like a real like street fighting class. There are guys who get into like MMA because they want to get into like prepare for a street fight. Yeah, but it's just like you're not preparing. The class itself isn't going to prepare you for what actually happens in the fight or for why you're fighting. But it's like the class is going to prepare you to do like a sport. But a street fight, it's like we're always saying, first punch wins.
Right.
First person who actually pushes things forward into offense is the one who ends up winning the fight.
You got to hit them and keep punching them and then run away.
And yeah, exactly. You got to know when to start and when to stop.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to just don't stick around, whatever you do.
Yep.
Don't stick
around. Light
them
up and bolt.
Yeah. That's the thing with, you never saw The Godfather, so I can't make the reference.
Nah, I got to check it.
You got to see this movie.
I know,
I guarantee you, you're going to like it. There's zero chance nobody.
You know what made me turn off Godfather when I was a kid? There was parts in Italian and you have to read captions. I'm like,
that's the second one. Yeah.
Oh, so I never even gave God. What's the one where De Niro's running across the tops of buildings?
That's the second one.
Okay.
That's like the second one is like a backstory to the first one.
Oh,
so first one is more like the second one is more like dark. The first one is more like it's fun, fun Italian stuff. But yeah, I guarantee you're gonna like it. But no, there's a part in there where they're saying like when something jumps off and you're shooting somebody with a gun, nobody's looking at your face. Anybody who's actually watching it, you have so much more freedom than you think you have if you're in control of a situation like that. Yeah. And you're shooting somebody, and it's like anybody who's watching something, an incident happen, they're so like dazzled by what's happening. They don't see your hands. They don't see you drop the gun. They don't see anything like that. But yeah, same thing with fighting. It's like people, if there's a big build-up, then everybody's ready for like, oh, here comes a fight.
Right.
But it's like when you see a real fight happen at like a, concert or like a bar or something, it's so quick and there's so much confusion.
Yeah.
It's like if you're really in the right mind state, it's like you could do so much.
Yeah, you gotta be calm in the situation. My problem with fights was whenever the build-up happens, your knees start shaking,
start crying a little bit.
Yeah, they form. You're right.
Yeah,
I can't ever punch a man when he's crying.
Well, it's not even. I don't mean that, but I mean like your own personal emotions are building up.
Yeah.
Whatever reason it is you're fighting, it's like, yeah, you can't go from like nothing to that level of intensity in the airport.
Right, we're just chilling, laughing, talking about America's Got Talent. It ruined this dude's day. And the thing is, it's never the person with a gorgeous wife. Everybody's pretty in their own way, but it's like, bro, come on, your girl's not.
Well, that's why he was mad.
Yeah.
Because he thinks you're making fun of his wife.
Oh, see, I thought he thought I was hitting on her.
This busted-ass airport bitch.
Yeah, that you're right.
Yeah, take a fitness class.
That's how much I'm out of touch with it. He thought I was roasting his wife.
Yeah. Imagine how fucked up you'd have to be for that if you'd actually do that. You're right next to the girl in the airport, and you elbow your buddy. Hey, you see that girl 3 feet away?
Damn.
What? Damn. Someone's got to fuck that.
That's a life changer. That's exactly what I said. I was like, damn, that's a life changer.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that guy must have thought this dude must be like a UFC fighter. This dude must be confident. Where he's like, wow, yeah. This dude is ready to rumble.
He was scared. I could
straight
tell.
Up Conor McGregor behavior.
He was huge too, about probably 280 pounds, about 6 feet tall. He could have beat my ass. Real skinny arms though. He was one of those people when you got them thick legs though. Anytime I see that, I get worried.
Yeah, Well, that's like secret power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like muscles where the guy doesn't even realize he's strong.
Right.
Fat guys don't realize their strength sometimes because it is like hidden under all
They
the fat.
could just squat 500 pounds and never
well,
work
fat
out.
guys can have like little arms.
Yeah.
And they can have bad like movements and shit. But
Yeah.
like when you actually get down to like linebacker behavior,
Yeah.
there is like real tree trunk strength.
Right.
Or it's like, yeah, this dude doesn't realize he can actually deadlift like
Yeah.
550.
You see the legs are all purple. I'm like, bro, there's no
well, you think
way.
too, he's got to carry around all this weight.
Yeah.
So all day long he's doing legs. So it's like,
Yeah.
once that dude gets you down, it's gonna be
over,
It's
dude.
a wrap. Yeah.
I was just looking at his legs like there's no way I'd win this fight.
Well, I wonder though. I feel like just like if you're trying to make somebody think that you know how to fight, if it's like a big guy fighting a little guy, if you're the little guy in the situation and the fight pops off and you start actually moving around him,
Yeah.
just like spinning him in circles and just throwing
Yeah.
jabs and shit, the guy might get in his head, think like, oh, this dude's a legit fighter.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're doing the Muhammad Ali shuffle and shit. And,
Especially my eye was busted. He was actually scared. I could see he was shaking.
right, yeah.
His wife probably told him to go over there and say it.
People don't, I mean, like, especially, boxing, but it's like people discount the foot movement.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to actually catch somebody with a punch if they're actually circling you.
Well, when you
really pay attention to boxing like that, you understand why the movements make sense.
when you're on the street, it is a whole bunch of slip and fall. Like if people can't
You're wearing jeans.
right.
Yeah.
Say somebody charges me and I like use their weight against them and move to the side quick.
Yeah.
It's easy. I feel like if you're a big dude already, balance isn't your best thing.
Yeah.
I could use that weight against you, but I'd have to learn all that judo stuff. I want to take.
Well, I think just the idea of actual keeping your body moving. When you see when you watch a boxing match and it gets into like late in the fight and people are tired, and they're like actual boxing, their instincts kind of start taking over, and it's like they drop their hands and they stop moving, their heads not moving around. It's like that's when you start seeing that's what like a regular person fights like,
right?
Where their head is perfectly still, their chin's right there, mouth's open a little bit, and it's like no, that's how you get knocked out,
right?
But it's like if you actually have the sense in your head of like, oh, I'm gonna keep moving. And to keep doing this, throw a punch and move my head a little bit to the side. It's like most people don't have the hand-eye coordination to actually catch your chin.
Yeah.
People don't even have like, it's just like everybody in their head. Because when you watch movies, nobody ever misses the punch. Every chin punch in a movie lands square.
Yeah.
You never see that like off the ear kind of punch.
Yeah.
Where somebody hits you like right here and it kind of grazes you.
Yeah.
That's what most people do in real life.
And people are tired. Like if I ever get in a street fight, I think I would probably let the dude. I hate when the people jump in and end the fight. It's like, no, man. If somebody attacks me, make him take this ass beating. Because my trick with street fights always was, like that fight I was in at LOL. Oh, you weren't there that night, were you? So he was gassed out in 25 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, when he's on the ground trying to catch his breath, now it's my turn.
Yep.
Everybody got to jump in. I'm like,
that's
let me
why,
hit him one time now.
Yeah, that's why. First punch wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know this shit's not gonna last. Cops are gonna come.
He
There's
was
gonna be some
donezo.
little kid's gonna start crying somewhere. And then all of a sudden it's like you're the bad guy now.
Right.
Yeah. You catch him once, stick a move,
Or
and
hit him
eventually
in the throat with one of those moves.
Yeah.
My Uncle Marty used to always tell me, he goes, you got to kick their knee in. And he'd be showing me, and he'd be dropping his weed and shit.
This dude was like ahead of the times.
Yeah.
That's the UFC. That's the go-to move now.
We used to go over his house, and we'd practice that Bruce Lee. He'd read the book, and he'd get all serious, and we'd practice it.
1-inch punch.
Yeah, that's my uncle that was kicking the door frame. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I got that book.
Yeah, dude, I tried reading it. That you got to move like water.
Well, there's all this philosophical stuff, and then in the beginning, and then in the middle, there's actually like drawings of a guy. Where it's like 1, 2, 5.
Right, yeah. I wonder if that even matters.
It's like wood blocks and shit. Well, it is like, that is, the idea of that whole book was like, there is like a spiritual aspect of fighting, but then there is actually like a technical part.
You always see these people, I see it all the time, I hate seeing it, and some guy being like, I could beat Bruce Lee. It's like, bro, he's dead. Give it up. They always want to say something about Bruce Lee. Do you think you could beat Bruce Lee in a fight? People get all serious. You see, isn't Nate Diaz got a boxing match coming up?
Yeah. It's Nate Diaz and like, is it Jorge Masvidal?
Yeah,
that's like another, like, they're both washed up.
Yeah.
So this is just like they're like late. They're kind of a cash grab.
I feel bad for Nate, dude. I mean, his brain is ruined.
That is like the kind of guy, though. He came into the UFC like 15 years ago, and his brain was already ruined.
Really?
Yeah, these were like, but I mean, this is already just like a dude this is the kind of guy who grew up fighting and then started doing MMA. So by the time he was fighting, this is like, by the time he actually learned how to fight, he's just got his shit rocked a million times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you see an interview with him. He's.
I always tell people it's like people think about stereotypes of what California is like, and they think that it's like this really like hippie guy, or it's just some fucking dipshit tech guy who's talking about like a matcha latte or something.
Right.
No, Nate Diaz. That is California right there. That is 90% of California.
Wow.
Growing up in California, that's the guy I see everywhere.
Wow.
That's the guy living next door who's playing music too loud.
Makes sense.
That's the guy who's, I mean, it's fucking raining outside. He's barbecuing for some reason.
Right.
Yeah,
Just some different guy.
His brother is, he's like this guy might be a tweaker, or he might just have tweaker vibes.
Yeah.
But that's what like the vast majority of Southern and Northern California is. It's just dudes like that, and they get into fights.
Huh.
And they go out and they like, those are the guys who are always like, we'd be in high school and it's like this guy has beef with like the Mexican gang. And it's like, I don't even know how you pulled that off. It's like, you got the Sureños coming after you or something.
Yeah, when I picture California, I guess I just don't see it being a Nate Diaz guy. I see Nate Diaz being like a Philadelphia guy.
Nah. You hear like that real slow drawl of like a guy who's been punched in the head too many times. It's a guy who sounds like he played football, but he never played football. That's a guy who just used to, those guys too, he's the kind of guy who fights his brother.
Right.
You go to their house. You go to their house. Not even that, but it's like you go to their house and him and his brother are having a full-on fist fight.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, they're like, friends again or something.
Bro, that's the worst, man. So you didn't come up. I came up around a lot of families like that. Like my cousins, they'd be fighting their friends. The dad fight the son. It's like it was all over football.
It's uncomfortable.
Dude, anytime you see somebody that when you got a jersey hanging in your living room, I don't want to go to that party. I'm like, look, dude, I know one of you are getting arrested. The wife's throwing a lamp at the husband. Somebody's getting stitches.
Well, I mean, if it's a family and you're around the same people for like 20 years, and the kind of family that gets into like full-on fist fights,
right?
Even after the fight is over, it's not over,
right?
You're never forgetting it. You're never like there's like a balance in your head of like debts and credits.
Yeah,
you're never at zero. It's always like somebody owes somebody a beatdown.
You can't let go of it.
Exactly. If you just lost a fight 2 weeks ago, it's like, no, we're not playing video games now.
I went on a date with this girl a long time ago, and I wasn't into her at all, right? And then my buddy ended up getting serious with her and dating her for 8 years. And dude, it's like we hung out for 2 hours, me and this girl. We went to the park. We didn't kiss. We didn't do anything. And this dude never let that go after he found out. Like,
wow.
He'd legit want to fight me over it. It's like, bro, it was 8 years before you knew her. She ended up cheating on him. They broke up. Now he's trying to be my friend again. But I'm like, dude, what do you want from me? It's like it would come up all the time. We'd be hanging out. He'd be like, oh, that's why you hung out with Sarah. And I'd be like, dude, it's 8 years ago. Well, the thing is, too,
you're not... Imagine a situation where you're actually bringing it up.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happened a lot, where it's like...
me and Sarah had a good time.
This guy's always going to throw it in my face. And it's like, no, I can't... And then you got to you're at a barbecue or something. You got to hang around this guy for 4 hours. What are the odds it's not going to come up?
Bro, I had that happen exact to me. I dated a girl, and my buddy's older brother dated her. And the funny thing is, we were dating in high school. We were both 16. Yeah. This dude was like 33 years old, and he was bragging about hanging out with her. And we're like, first off, do you realize how sick you are? But tell me why karma works out. I dated this girl for 2 years. I had to pick this dude up. He's like, hey, man. He goes, I got drunk. I don't know where I parked my car. I have no clue. He's like, can you pick me up? I pick this dude up. He's hammered, drunk. I pick him up. We're driving around for 2 hours trying to find his car. And this fucking asshole is bringing up how he hooked up with my girl while I'm driving him around to find his car.
Jeez.
And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to help you out. I end up dropping him off on the side of the road. I'm like, dude, you're an asshole. It was the last time I spoke to the dude. So my buddy goes, hey, did you see? He goes, did you see who married Gina? Gina was this girl
Yeah.
that used to come around and everybody used to mess around with her. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
crazy house parties, 4 dudes coming out of the bedroom with her.
Yeah.
All of our friends all ended up hooking up with her. He marries her, has a kid with her. Now he's away from the friend group. But dude, it's not even. We don't even got to bring it up. It's
Wow.
like we all know,
Yeah.
you know. But that's karma. That's why you don't do that.
Well, I mean, that's why you got to get out of your small town situation.
I
Because
left.
it's like if you had never left, then you would still be in the mix there. And
Everybody
you never know.
dates
You
each
run
other.
into the same guy. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got some weird history together. And
Yeah.
it's like, at a certain point, you're too old to fight.
Right.
But once you've gone out of prime fighting age, but you still have the same beef with the guy. So even if you guys are in your 50s or something, and you're still thinking about, like, oh, wait, hold on. And everybody's like, oh, remember when he beat the shit out of you?
Yeah.
You know, one time in middle school?
I was on a date last night. I would go on a date to a rooftop, and the girl's like, no, let's stay up here. I'm like, I want to say hi to my buddy. I say his name. He's got a very distinctive name,
Yeah.
and I can't put his business out there, but this is the only person with this name. He's one of those people with that cool nickname.
Uh-huh.
You know those people, like, this ain't his real name, but you'll meet somebody. It's like, oh, yeah, that's Iron Wicks.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's got that dude's name.
Yeah, that's Quantaz.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. So if I say his name, everybody's going to know who I'm talking about. I'm on a date with this girl, rooftop. We go downstairs. Who do we run into? He goes, hey,
Quantaz.
what's up?
Yeah.
Yep. She's like, hey. She shows me pictures of him and her hanging out. I'm like, oh, yeah, they probably hooked up. I'm thinking to myself. She's all like, I can't stand people who are in my business. It's like, if I ever hook up with somebody, that's my business. I hang out with you on a Tuesday, them on a Thursday.
Wow.
By the way, I have no money. Here's the bill. I'm done with these dates, man. I'm holding off.
That's the kind of girl though who really wants to see something pop off.
right?
She really wanted you to like get into it with somebody or see some, you know,
Yeah, probably
some kind of drama.
some
pop off.
excitement. Fight over me.
Yeah. yeah.
Do any dates go good? You know, the dates that go good are the ones that aren't dates. Like when you meet a girl and you just met her and you walk around with her that day, and it's an equal exchange of just enjoying each other's company.
That's why it's better. I mean, like as bad as like Tinder and stuff is, it is like there's an equal buy-in to it.
right.
The girl is on Tinder, so clearly she's looking for a date. So it's not like we're just hanging out, and it's not like you have some sort of old history with this girl that you've known for 5 years.
Yeah.
This is actually just like it's completely fresh.
I never even got a real person on Tinder. And if I did, the one real person I got never even hung out with me, messaged back and forth for a while. And then they're like, can you send me a dick pic?
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, you're a man. Yeah, I know you're a secret
This
man
is some
with
sort of a
pictures.
scam. Yeah, this is gonna end up on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never got the one date I got from Tinder. It was all the other comics dated her too. Remember, I brought her to Atlanta, and everybody's like, "Don't hang out with that girl."
Wow.
And she got me for the sushi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, I think this isn't like just a time to swear off dating. This is just you're getting the wrong ones.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to blow
Most
another 200.
dates just go nowhere. Most
Right.
of the time it's just like you hang out for an hour and then it's like, all right, I'll see you later.
I just spent $200.
But yeah, I mean, most dates wouldn't be that. You'd go to a bar and you get a drink. You know, maybe the most you're out is like $25-$30.
I'll start doing that. Look, one drink. If I get to know you,
You don't even come out at that negative. But it's like let's meet for a drink, and it's like let's meet at a dive bar.
Yeah.
So it's like the most in your head, you know, going into it, the most I'm going to spend is like $40,
right.
and that's like a nice bar.
I would take if you're talking one drink, I'm taking the girl to a
Go to
classy
the Grizzly,
place.
yeah, and even if you go to like the Grizzly Pear, the most one drink is going to run you there is like $15.
But if you spend another $3 and the decor is nice, it's worth it.
It is, but it's also like once you start going to like a restaurant or something, it's
Right.
like, that's when things can really start opening up.
Yeah.
And the bartender starts saying like, "Hey, we have shrimp here,"
Oh yeah.
and it's like,
The fish.
yeah, you
Hey,
got to
guys.
start saying no to stuff.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you got to
it's-
walk in because it's like that's the problem with dating. It's like, remember like when you and your girl went to that Halloween thing?
Oh
where it
yeah.
was like a total
Huge
ripoff.
ripoff.
So many businesses in the city just cater towards women because the woman is just going to be like, "Oh, let's do that."
Right.
Oh, they have shrimp here?
Yeah.
Oh, I love oysters.
It's shrimp in a Dixie cup.
Well, it's not even that. Even if it's good shrimp, you know, it's like fucking $40.
Right.
But it's like, oh, we just came here for a drink. But she's like, oh, look, they have that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, the guy's doing caricature drawings. And it's like, the girl is just going into it for like a fun thing. You got to end up paying this fucking caricature artist like
Right.
$45.
But you
you got like a big ass nose in the picture.
Yeah, or she does, and then she's like, I feel ugly.
Yeah,
I want to
right.
go home.
Why are we on skis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, a character date would be the best thing. Break a girl's self-esteem. I'd slip
Well,
the
you
guy an
gotta-
extra 7, make that nose a little bigger.
Yeah, right. Put her on a snowboard.
Yeah.
No, you always got to, but you got to sit still for 30 minutes, or even if it's like you end up somewhere and there's like a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Every Ferris wheel, you think in your head going into it, it's like this is gonna be like $8,
Right.
and it's like no, we're in the city.
$70.
This is gonna be so much money, yeah, and you're gonna have to wait, and it's gonna be hot.
Fighting with her.
Yeah, you get to the top, and it's like, oh, there's no bathroom here.
And then
It's
you're
like,
all
no, we're on a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're afraid of heights. You're passing out.
Yeah. What do you mean you can't swim?
Yo, I'm telling you, dude, anytime a girl just starts picking things and grabbing things and is okay with spending money, I feel like this is a bad thing. Also, if I'm hanging out with you and you just are argumentative, this is our first date. I couldn't imagine when I'm living with you in an efficiency on a futon and I have no money.
Uh-huh.
It's like this pisses you off. The fact that we're walking an extra block. Yeah. Wait till you see that I have one window in my house.
Yeah. That's why the best date you got to go to like Starbucks or something. You go because it's like you walk into Starbucks. How much could you possibly spend here?
But here's the problem, dude. Girls, they ain't going to Starbucks.
Not Starbucks. I mean, not maybe that, but like a dive bar.
Or like a martini place.
You're thinking too high. This is how you end up going on these $200 dates.
But these girls would be like, I could,
Most girls, a girl who's actually has like good character, she's going into this knowing, I don't want to make this guy spend a bunch of money.
Yeah,
because
true.
I don't want to like this might not go good. So this might just be like a tester. That's why it's like if you suggest from the top, let's go to a dive bar, not like a real shitty like biker bar, but like what's that place?
Rudy's. Yeah.
Most girls would be fine with that. It's not as long as it's not like super crowded or something. But
The
it's
cool
like
thing with
because
Rudy's-
it's like going in there, the girl's not going to be like you're not going to be like there's no expectations.
Yeah. There's no, I mean, the thing about Rudy's is, one, it's so loud you can't hear each other, and
Yeah,
two,
it's no good.
somebody's going to try to flirt with your girl. You got to find the right dive bar.
Well, you got to find kind of an empty bar. It's like the city, there's lots of places like that in the city where it's like, wood.
Yeah.
Those bars where everything's all wood and there's like these little neon signs and shit.
Yeah, dude. I
Watch a
got
little NASCAR.
This money, dude, this is my this is my fourth date. And, dude, I've been dropping between 100 and 200 a date. I'm so mad at myself.
Wow.
I had a trip. I could have went to India or something.
Yeah, right.
I got them
That's how you
flight
gotta.
miles.
That's how you gotta tell the girl up top.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this just so you know, I could be in India right now.
I could. You know how much I could spend in
Yeah,
South
right?
America?
You know how many fucking miles I got? You haven't even figured out your mile situation yet, right?
No, I
you
claimed
got-
about 30,000 of them so far.
You got crazy miles in there.
I probably got a few 100,000.
Oh, going back and forth to the Atlantic and the
Yeah.
going to Honduras.
I'm
and
going
shit.
to Rome next month.
Wow, crazy.
I was on a date with a girl that I tell you, she's like, look, she called her mom. I'm with the rich guy now. I couldn't believe she did that.
Wow.
And then we're on a FaceTime date. She's like, are you going to be able to take care of my daughter? I'm sitting, and her mom's like in fucking another country, barely even speaks English.
Wow.
I'm just like, what type of date is? I was just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? She's like,
she's on WhatsApp.
yeah, why is your face bleeding? I'm like, more importantly, why are you talking to your mother right now?
Wow. Yeah, you can't trust it.
Yep.
Don't trust anybody who's talking to somebody on WhatsApp.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
WhatsApp. You're right. If they just if a girl's
no,
phone
we're
shut
sticking
off-
with FaceTime and iMessage.
I can't stand a girl tells me, what do you mean you have a roommate? And it's like, you just told me a minute ago at the restaurant you have zero money.
Yeah.
Somebody told me this a long time ago. Anytime a girl has a bunch of ones, she's broke. It's like anybody pulling out like, more than 5 ones,
Yeah.
they're broke. If they're crinkled up and shit, wet, it's like, yo, this girl's going through a hard
The
time.
bills aren't facing the right way.
She's
and
acting, no, I could have swore I gave you 5 ones. No, that was 4.
shit. Yeah.
That's 4 $1 bills.
It's a problem.
Is there anything that we could do?
All the ladies out there, get your shit together.
I just had a guy at the pizza shop, man. I paid him. He's trying ripping me off. I'm letting it go. I'm on a date. I don't want to, I don't want to sit here and be like, dude, it says right there the cheese slice is $3.95. You just charged me $4.95. Saying he over the 11 cents, dude. He had me break another 20. And you're on a date, you can't really argue, but it's like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, you're overcharging me. You got me cracking the 20 for 11 cents.
It's the same thing like everything else. He knows you're there with the girl. So it's like, let's see how much I can get this guy for.
Right. I'll hit him for
you sure
another
you don't
dollar.
want some shrimp on this pizza?
Right.
Yeah.
Start winking at you.
Yeah.
I'll make you that's what they do. Taco Planet's a great restaurant, but they start throwing in their things. The guy's like, hey, I'll make you a special mango slushie.
Yeah,
it's
right.
hot out. Yeah,
we got a Ferris wheel back there.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.